friendship deck, for those of you who don't know, took so Michael on the left, that's primitive for people who might know him by his net handle. Starting off strong with the BT6 Gabumon and the Matt to follow up pairing with it.
Yeah, so Matt is an OG tamer from when this set came out, and it's super, super strong, allowing you to get memory and draw a card when you raise up your Gabumons, and just allowing this whole combo to work. We see Nicholas on the right playing the Promo Davis into the Promo Vmon with an Uko and raising, going into the Magnamon from, I believe this is the BT13 one. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the Royal Knights Magnamon. So it lets
Yeah.
him evolve for one cheaper from the Promo V. And that Magnamon has blocker, and instead of Armor Purge, just when it's removed from the field, he gets to play a Vmon from his hand or sources. So a lot of board presence right away.
So he's going to raise up that Godmon, allowing him to gain the memory and draw a card. I believe there's a little bit of glare, but I believe that is the Agumon that allows him to warp Digivolve. It looks like he's not going to. He's going to go into a Korikakumon, getting that draw.
Well, the Gabumon doesn't let him warp Digivolve. It's the Mat that does.
It's the Mat that does, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the Gabumon that lets him attack multiple times. Yeah. Into a Howling Memory Boost, stripping the sources and freezing that Magnamon.
Yep. Play Nicholas on the right, just turning it upside down to remind himself that he can't attack or block with it.
Right. He's going to raise up the Ukomon, allowing him to gain a memory and does it not hatch?
I believe it hatches and then gains.
Yeah, I believe it does hatches and then gains memory. Maybe forgetting to hatch here, or is it optional to hatch?
It might be optional to hatch, so the judge might be telling him that by gaining the memory first, he foregoes the hatching.
Okay, that could be it.
We don't have the audio from the table, so
yeah. Hard playing the Zudomon Ace to sort of deal with Michael's board there, and he checks I believe that is the BT15 Gabumon from Exceed Apocalypse.
Yep. And 1K in security, so the Ukomon will live.
Very aggressive board here.
With a jamming Vmon. Very big board for turn 2.
Michael does have 4 left in security, meaning that if he had gotten the egg, next turn could have presented lethal. There's probably still ways he can go about it with unsuspension of some sort. I don't remember what quite is in his list. Let's peek.
Well, you always have the BT6 Magnamon or BT8 Magnamon.
Rather. Right. So he could do that. Let's see. We go into a Goblin in the back. Looks like we're thinking about popping the memory boost. Oh, we get a Louis on board. Both lists are playing Louis. Louis is such a good card.
Louis is just another crazy aggressive card.
This Ukomon and Louis package is really, really strong. Into a Death Xmon. Okay, so...
Yeah,
this is a big play. There. Sorry, Tyler. What were you going to say?
He will get to trigger that Magnamon to draw a card and play a Gabumon. But the big thing to note here, the Louis synergy with the Mat is huge because the Mat is whenever you push up a Gabumon or Garurumon, including when it's by an effect. So he gained that extra memory from that as well.
That is a very neat interaction right there. We get a Vmon in raising, and it looks like he did just draw. I believe that's the Evolution Cut Magnamon. Correct me if I'm wrong. That is the BT13 one, right?
That's the same one that was on board. Correct.
Okay.
It's just a different art.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was an alternate art of the BT8 one or not. So it looks like in his hand he has 2 copies of that Magnamon, 2 Heaven's Judgment, and the red armor option. I can't Fist Rocket or Fire Rocket or something.
Fire Rocket,
yeah.
So the Zudomon gonna take that risk to swing.
Okay. Checks an Ukomon, so he lives.
And here, if you're Michael, what are you thinking here? What's your game plan? Because that early advantage, you recovered with the Death X a little bit, getting set to 1.
I think what he made was probably the right play there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, people always forget about that secondary Death X effect.
It looks like he did just draw the Searcher Vmon, though, so he might be back in it because it is going to take Michael, maybe another turn or so of setup. We'll see if he pops off here with the Gabumon or not. Looks like he's not warp digivolving. His deck's very piece reliant, right? Needing that Gabumon. And he checks into a Davis. Do you remember what this Davis does off the top of your head? I know it's the promo
On
one.
play, he gets to play a Vmon. So
Okay.
up to
So he
him if
does
he'd
get to
like
play
to
that
play that
Vmon, and he
searcher.
does get to get the search, allowing him to gain some advantage here. Let's see what he gets. Grabs a Davis and a free, correct? Or is it just
Yep.
a free?
No, it's a Davis and a free. So he'll
Okay,
choose the
cool.
jamming Vmon and the
That's probably
Davis.
correct.
Something to note in the armor deck too, Ukomon is a free Digimon, so it is searchable by most of your effects.
Oh, I did not know it was a free Digimon. Interesting.
Yeah, he's
I guess that
free
makes
and
sense.
fairy.
Huh. So
Him
now
gaining some more memory from the
he's sort of just
BT6
looking how to
Gabumon when he
pass off
played
his
the mat.
turn. Freezing the... Oh, it doesn't
He
freeze?
doesn't get a
Okay.
freeze because it's not over a hybrid or a
Right.
tamer, but he does get to evolve up into it.
So we got the BT8 Magna out now. We do have another Louis in his hand, it looks like. He would need a way to hatch a Digimon to get most value out of that. Here, I think Fire Rocketing isn't the worst. Followed up with maybe a Heaven's Judgment to end turn. I can't quite tell
Yeah,
what
is that it's the jamming Vmon underneath? No, it's not.
is it not?
It's the promo
Oh, it's the
Vmon.
promo one.
If it was
Yeah.
jamming Vmon, it'd be very good to
I'd
fire
Fire
rocket there
Rocket.
to get those
Yeah.
2 checks.
He draws 2 into
Oh,
the
here he's swinging
Quarry.
over, it looks like.
Ooh,
Oh, no.
Blast Evoing
Just a
into the
blast Digi.
Zudomon Ace.
He's going to bounce the Vmon, which is
Bounce the
smart because the
Vmon,
armor
takes the
purge won't
check.
save here.
Yeah. Very tough for these armor decks without Magnamon, the new one from BT16. Source stripping is just very, very good into those matchups. Heaven's Judgment coming down. That makes sense. Probably he has 3, so
And he
or
gets
2.
to
So
activate it 3 times, so he could choose to clear the Death X, and
3
that would be
times.
it. Yep, because you activate it once and then an additional time for each color.
Right. Okay. Correct. Yeah. If he had blown up the Zudomon, is Zudomon's overflow 5 or 4?
3.
Oh, 3. Never mind. I was gonna say if it was one of those, if it
And
was
he'd
5,
lose
he could
his
have kept turn.
Magnamons, so if he has an ace in hand, he might just want
Yeah.
to keep the Magnamon. We are going
And
to
we get the
warp into the bond.
Gabumon. So Michael is going to try and finish the game off this turn. A
He
Blast
will be able to
Evo.
bounce on attack, so he
Oof.
can't blast
Yep.
Evo, even if he had it.
Let's hope for what could be a security option that could save him here.
In armors, Heaven's Judgment wouldn't be too bad.
Ukomon,
Fire Rocket only kills blockers.
Zudomon. Let's see what we get here. Oh, maybe it's not game if there's an Omni though.
I think
Lydramon. Oh wait,
he
never mind.
has he has the hybrid for game.
Yeah. Well,
so that'll be game 1 going to Bond of Friendship.
I'm loving Bond of Friendship this format. Again, I think Ukomon and Louis are a really good buff to a lot of decks. And the Gabu, both the decks we've showcased get buffed so much by those cards existing. Bond of Friendship still being aggressive, as well as getting new support in LM2, so we'll see when we get that. But overall, I think that was really well played by both opponents.
Yeah, I mean, both decks super aggressive. It was really anybody's game. We saw how the triggers happening in the wrong order for Nicholas really did hurt his momentum and let Primitive kind of capitalize on that free turn to get his aggression more in line with him with that lucky Death X early on. So I mean, I think both players have the threat of Death X. I don't want to give away too much about their lists, but both lists usually run Death X. So both of them have to be a little careful about their going wide.
I will say, I think the Death X there is what really solidified that game. I think also missing the Ukomon trigger to
hatch. The momentum
hatch
was just
also,
really dead for that next turn. Because you would have had another raise to put more pressure on the following turn. Have 3 bodies on board when that Zudomon came down instead of just the 2.
Yeah, for sure. I think again, that Death X really solidified the game state there. The Zudomon also removing the sources off the Magna to stop it from purging, allowing for losing that Blast Evolution was tough, as well as I believe it was bot decked by the Gabu Bond as well. So yeah, Nicholas's board there just sort of got outed really quickly. We'll see if he commits that much in the next game because he was committing a lot of cards, and I think that was a solid strategy. Just playing like, hey, if he has Death X, he has it. If not, we probably win next turn. Unfortunately for him, Michael did have the Death X to answer that board.
Yeah, I do think both players' strategy is try to go faster than your opponent in this matchup because it's two very
Right.
aggressive decks. Gabuban does have the benefit of a lot of bounce effects, which are very strong against armors. Everything but that BT3 Magnamon. We did get confirmation from the table judge that there was the Ukomon. The hatch is
It has to be done before the memory.
has to be done before the memory because the memory is a mandatory trigger and the hatch is optional. So moving on to the second part of that effect and gaining the memory means that you've foregone the option to hatch.
Yeah, that's
so
tough.
remember that, guys. In official tournaments. So
yeah, for sure. Looks like they're going to get ready for round 2 here soon. That being said, I think if you were Nicholas, would you go take the play here or would you go second in this matchup?
I think for both of these decks, I choose to go first.
I agree. I would probably take the play in both of these matchups because you really
even though
want to
you
get
lose out. Even though you lose out on that card, sorry to interrupt, you do gain the momentum of that extra turn of possible attacking or setup, which at the cost of like a card and some memory to begin with, both players are essentially likely setting the other one to 3 to begin with, either with Matt or Davis. That's your optimal opener.
Right. I think an Ukomon into either a Matt or Davis is honestly just one of the best plays Nicholas can make. And then Prim, same thing, right? Ukomon with a sorry, not Ukomon, a Gabumon with a Matt. It's probably his most optimal play. Let's see. So he's taking the plays, hatching into a Wanyumon. Here comes the Ukomon. Let's see if he gets the Davis. He doesn't. It looks like he has a Louis though. Okay, so he'll choose to go
I mean the Louis. Interesting to forego the one memory play to set up a jammer.
Yeah, I think that may have been a slight misplay on his end because again, that would have cost.
We don't know yet. It's early. It's early. It could be the right play.
Okay, it looks like both of them got a pretty optimal opener. Ooh, okay.
I will also say it is something to not put your opponent to 1 because now you know you're getting a full 3 back from this deck, which you could utilize a lot better than the 1 or 2 you could get if you had set him to
hatch,
1.
Go to 4, evoing into the Vmon. This could also be why he didn't play the Louis next turn because here he has a really strong. I believe that's BT8 Magnamon. I think he has a really strong Magna play here with the Louis. Checks the memory boost,
the Howling memory boost, but
it's the starter deck Magnamon. Here, okay,
which will bounce the Uko.
Yeah,
puts the momentum back in his favor. Well, it was in his favor already, but slides the scale more towards him.
What happened to the? Oh, the judge had to read it. Okay.
Get a quick pot shot in.
The Ukomon, oof, checking the hybrid. I don't.
It did its job. If it was, you already gained your memory.
Yeah. Vmon, the promo Vmon. What does it do? What's your turn effect?
The your turn effect is when you would evolve once per turn into a free, or it might be Magnamon specifically. We'd have to double check, but it might be into a free. You could reduce it by 1.
Okay, that's pretty good. So that turns all of his Magnas into a 2-cost Evo.
Yep.
So Prim will raise out. He'll go to 3. His hand's looking really good here. He does have that early aggression already with the Gabu Bond.
Oh, he's going right
down
into
to
Gabumon.
1. He's just sending it. Okay.
I mean, really but it could be really favorable for him.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get to answer this board without purge. He's going to get to draw some cards and hit security. It does give him that Davis, which is rough.
So he has to try and win the game here. Otherwise, next turn's looking pretty. He chooses not necessarily to use the Davis.
Oh, because it would just be a free bounce.
Right. I
He'd
guess
be able
that's
to
true.
respond to it.
I guess I forgot it bounces on every swing.
Mm-hmm. He'd just end up getting bounced. So
Heaven's
it's
Judgment minusing not
minus
enough. Yeah.
12, not enough to kill it.
Yeah. It's until the end of the turn, correct? On Heaven's Judgment?
Correct.
Okay. We get to see the EX1 Gabumon come down. Gabumon dies. We have a very tight game already. Let's see what happens here. He's
The
going to gain
scary
one
thing here,
memory.
though, is from 2 memory with the promo Vmon, he could win
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Looks like he goes into the Stardex 17 Magnamon, which means to me he doesn't have the BT8 one because I believe that's the one he would need to swing twice, correct?
Yeah, I would. If he had the BT8, you would just go for the swing to try and end the
Right.
game.
Let's see what he does here. Looks
Here,
like
he's
he's
just
just
got to
looking at
set
his.
up probably a blocker, in my opinion. He has a turn because Prim doesn't have an egg, but he also doesn't have an egg, which means here it's just going to be a game of setting up the next couple turns for both players.
It's probably which Vmon does he want to play. It looks like he has 2. He has the promo as well as the All Force starter deck Vmon, or maybe it's the promo Vmon. I can't tell which artwork.
I think that's the All Force one.
The All
From
Force
that
one.
art. They all have
Which
alt arts, so it's hard to keep track of all of them.
Yeah.
Like the
And
jamming
those of you who
Vmon
are just
alone
tuning
has
in,
4 arts.
yeah, those of you who are just tuning in, Michael won game 1. We're on game 2 right now. Super, super close game 2. Looks like he's going to pass him to 3.
To pass.
Just to
no,
pass.
but he has
okay.
He has Louis and Ukomon. He could just win in this turn.
In hand, he has
If
both? He does. Yeah. Let's see what he does here. This is okay, so he chooses not to go
this
to the,
right.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you would play the Louis first to get all the boost from Matt.
Yep.
He could even play the Ukomon out and then play the Louis
Michael,
and keep turn.
He definitely sees this play, right? He's one of, I think, the best players in the Digimon card game. He sees the play. He's not sure if he wants to take it or not based on his head shaking. And there's still 2 security, right? So if he checks the Heaven's Judgment, that could be really bad. He's going to play the Zudomon.
I actually really like this play.
That's a good play. Yeah.
That's an amazing play.
Basically just waste your turn. I see if he had played the rookie the last turn, I think he would have a more favorable board state here, but I think at that point Michael would just threaten to kill him.
Putting Nicholas at 1 though means that Nicholas has to have the Louis Ukomon to win this turn.
Right. He does have a Louis. I didn't see his full hand.
Yeah,
so
he did not have the Ukomon, which is unfortunate.
Okay.
Because he'd be able to push it up, gain the 2 memory, and just swing.
Yeah.
Because Prim is at 0 security at this point, right?
Really tight game. Really tight game. Nicholas is thinking. He's trying to see if there's a way out. He's looking at that Vmon again. But I don't think it's enough. I think you're right. He would really need that Louis or Ukomon to win here. He goes into Lydramon, gives him 1. Does he play? He doesn't play Hammer Spark or anything. So
he's going to gain the memory, draw the card.
So we'll just see what's in the security. I guess he can take 3 hits. And of course, if there's a Heaven's Judgment
here,
in there,
it's paramount for the Zudomon to live. So
right.
But I mean, if it does live, he does have the hybrid. Oh, he's going to go to the hybrid.
He's going to hybrid first.
It's scary though, because the Heaven's Judgment will still pass turn and lose him the game.
Yeah, and it's not a Heaven's Judgment, but he does. Yeah,
that's just 2-0 for Prim.
Yeah.
So bond of friendship takes round 1.